Hey everyone, how's it going? Feel free to take yourself off mute, guys, so we can all say hello to each other.
Hi.
Hey girls, how's it going?
Hi.
Are you finishing lunch? Hello.
Hey,
Hello. Can I please have some? Yeah.
awesome. Hey, why don't we start by all introducing ourselves again? Because I'm so bad with names. I always forget everyone's names. So why don't we go around and we all say each other's names and our favorite color? How about that? Start off with that. So my name's Tobias, and my favorite color is green.
My name is Cecile and my favorite color is blue.
Oh, nice.
My name's Sarah and my favorite color is blue. My name's Sherry and my favorite color is pink.
Nice. Hey, very good.
Oh, we can't hear you.
Sorry. My name's Nancy and my favorite color is aqua.
Aqua? What color is aqua? What does that look like?
Is it kind
It's
of
like a combination between blue and green.
yeah, I think I really like aqua too.
Kind of like turquoise?
Yeah.
It's the same color as the water in your tank, in your fish tank. Awesome. Sweet as.
Right.
All right. Well, welcome. Thanks, guys, for joining today. We've got a cool little session today. I'm not going to do too much talking, but I'm just going to introduce what we're going to talk about. So we're going to have Cecile today talk to us about the next Sustainable Development Goal, gender equality, which is going to be really exciting. It's a cause that we're all really passionate about here at Farmwall. Yeah. Can anyone remember what the one from last week was? Do we have any? Were you guys in the session last week? That's okay.
I couldn't make it.
That's fine. Last week we talked about good education. So we learnt about what is good, what is learning, and why it's so awesome. And we played a fun game where we had to find some objects and make a story out of them, which was quite fun. But yeah, this week we're going to focus on gender equality, which Cecile is going to tell us all about. So I'm going to pass it over to her if she wants to get started.
Yes. So I'm going to start with sharing my screen. I just created a little presentation, but we're going to mostly be talking. Share my screen. Oh, you need to allow me to share the screen.
Oh, yeah. I'll do that quickly.
Yeah.
Just while I'm doing that, can anyone tell me what they think gender equality is?
Have you heard that word before? Yeah, Fancy?
It means like for boys and girls having the same kind of rights, so they're both allowed to do the same things, basically.
Yeah.
Spot on.
Perfect. I think that's the perfect definition. And why do you think it is important that we talk about, and why do you think it's important that we talk about in this context that the Sustainable Development Goals? Can you see any link between those few elements?
You might have to tell us, Cecile. It's a bit of a tricky one.
Okay, I'm sharing. So why, whoa, the stop one, wait. Can you see my screen?
Yep.
And if I do that, yeah, cool. So why it's important? Well, for example, last week we talked about the Sustainable Development Goals, which was education. And in some countries, I don't know if you're aware of that, but in some countries, not all girls, are able to go to school. Can you imagine if you were living in the country and only the boys were allowed to go to school? Sounds bizarre, right? But that's still happening in the world right now. So the Sustainable Development Goals, they kind of want us, everyone, to work together to create a world where we actually have a better world for girls and boys. And then we create a more sustainable world. So when you say that like girls and boys be treated the same way and have the same right and opportunities, what do you think that means? So they are able to go to school. What else? What would be other things?
Does anyone have any ideas of what they might look like?
Yeah.
Xanthi?
Can you repeat that, because you were frozen? I couldn't hear that.
Oh, that's annoying. I was just wondering if you had any other example of like why is it important for girls and boys to have the same right? So I use the example of going to school. Is there other ways you can think about that?
Yep, Xanthi.
So, this isn't like right now, but in like in the olden days, girls weren't allowed to vote.
Yeah, that's right. They weren't able to vote. And what happened if you can't vote? You can't really have a voice and have a choice, right? So it's really important to be able to vote. Like for example, imagine you were in the class and you want to answer, and you as a girl, you raise your hand, and the boys as well, but only the boys get to answer. Do you think that's fair? No, that's not fair. So that's why it's important that we have like gender equality. Okay, so I'm just going to tell you like some numbers. So I told you already that in some countries, girls can't go to school. But there's other things, like for example, in the adult world where you go and you work, you've got the boss and you've got the employees. And often, still at the moment, the bosses, 1 on 4 are women. So actually less than half. Do you think that's fair? Do you think it's fair that there's like more bosses that are boys or men than women? Yeah, Sarah?
You keep freezing and I can't hear you.
Okay. I'm gonna try to connect my computer to my phone. No, I can't do that. Oh yeah, it's annoying. I'm just gonna go and get my phone, sorry. I'll be back in a sec.
Okay. Maybe we could talk about our microgreens and things while we're waiting. Has everyone been growing their microgreens? Has everyone been enjoying them? What have you guys been eating them with? Have you been eating them on their own, or just cooking them in meals? Xanthi? And then we'll hear from you.
We put them on top of our spaghetti bolognese sometimes.
Oh, nice. Yummy. How does that taste?
Good.
I love spaghetti bolognese. It's yummy as. How about you, Sarah?
I've just been eating them on my own. And also
awesome.
the snow peas, because the other ones I don't enjoy quite as much.
Right. Yeah, snow peas are classic. You can't go wrong. Can't go wrong. Yeah, I like to eat them on my own as well. Like eat them just plain, just straight as a snack. They're so yummy and so healthy, so good for you. It's what you want. And you guys excited for your fish to arrive next week? Sweet. All right, how you going, Cecile?
Well, I need to connect about.
Alrighty.
So I connect my internet, but I need to do that.
Sweet as. Hey, while we're waiting for Cecile, do we want to play a little game? Are you almost ready, Cecile? No, I don't think.
You can do the game.
We could save the game for at the end after your talk if you're ready. You're ready now?
Okay. I'm ready now. Tell me if I froze again. Anyway, I was gonna give you some numbers. So for example, you've got the people that make decisions in companies or in the government. And at the moment, when you've got 4 of those people, only 1 is a woman. So gender equality is like when, how many on 4 will be women, do you think? Yeah. Santi?
1.
Well, no, we want half of it at least, so it's 2 on 4.
50-50.
Yeah. Same with like the number of like women that actually own their piece of land in agriculture. There's only like 13% of them, so that's not a lot. So we want more women being able to kind of access this kind of like, I guess, right. So when you look at this, do you know what those little drawing are? Have you seen them before? Like the circle like this with like the cross and this circle with the arrow. Have you seen those before?
Yes, I've seen them.
Yeah. So what are they? Can you tell me, Tobias?
They are symbols for men and women. They represent their pictures for men and women.
So guess which one is the woman and guess which one is the man.
The one on the left is the... Sorry,
Yeah.
I shouldn't guess. Sarah? I shouldn't guess. Sarah, would you like to tell us?
Ooh.
I think we lost Sarah.
Yeah. So the one with the cross, the round and the cross under, that's the female. And the one with the round and the arrow, that's the male. So pretty much what this is saying is like, there's no, like the idea is like men are not superior to women and the vice versa, women are not superior to men. They're just equal. And that's what we want in the world. We want like equality between women and men. So I wanted to ask you, like, I hear often that people say like, oh, boys are like this or girls are like that, and they use different adjectives. And I was wondering if you think that was fair, or, you know, how would you describe yourself? If you're funny, if you're creative, if you're silly, do you think you're strong as a woman, as a girl? Yeah.
So what do you guys think about those words in the middle between the two circles? Do you think that those are both things that girls and boys can do?
Yeah.
What do you think are some other things that you can think of? Are there any things that you can think of that both girls and boys are able to do? Anyone have any ideas? Xanthi?
So they're both able to like in so I read in Blyton books, and in lots of the books it's like the boys always go on the adventures and the girls are always ones that clean, but really it can be either or.
Yeah,
I'm pretty good at cleaning, actually.
I'm pretty good at going on adventure because I used to live in France and now I live in Australia, so that was a big adventure.
That's cool. I used to love the Enid Blyton books when I was a kid as well. The Magic Faraway Tree. It's a great story.
Yeah.
Awesome.
So tell me, raise your hand if you think you're funny. I'm really funny too.
Obviously.
Yeah. Do you think you can be loud sometime? I think I can be loud sometimes. Yeah. What about being courageous? Do you think you've been courageous before? Do you remember a time? Maybe you want to share a time you've been courageous before. Anyone wants to share a story? Trying to eat their first microgreen?
Oh, Sarah?
Yeah.
I went abseiling at a dance camp down the side of a cliff.
Wow.
Small one, but...
Yeah, no, that's cool. Many people are afraid of heights.
And also you're frozen.
Again? Me? Yeah.
Oh, good.
Yeah, oh good.
Just have to deal with it.
What about, are you scared sometimes? Do you think boys are scared sometimes? Like, are you scared, Tobias, sometimes?
Oh, definitely.
Sometimes.
Yeah, I'm scared sometimes.
Yeah. What are you scared about? I'm a bit scared of snakes, for example. Yeah.
I'm scared of the dark still. It's ridiculous.
Oh, there you go. What about you, Xanthi?
I'm scared of geckos. I'm terrified of lizards.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Mm.
What about you, Sarah? Can you hear us?
I don't think Sarah's scared of
Yeah.
anything.
Can you think of anything?
I'm scared of jumping off cliff.
Oh, yeah. That's fair enough. And don't do it if it's too high. Cool. And so when you think about boys, do you think they have the same? Do you think they're scared? Do you think they can be silly, courageous, like the same way girls are? Yeah.
Here's another question though. Do you think boys can be sensitive? Do you think that they can be emotional? Yeah, I'm seeing some thumbs up, some nods. We
Yeah.
don't often think of boys as being soft and emotional, but they are. And girls can be a lot more tough and, you know, a lot more masculine, which is kind of interesting, right? It's like we all have the capacity to display lots of different characteristics outside of our traditional gender norms. Yeah.
There's no doubt that girls and boys are different, but at the same time, you've got the right to kind of like have the same feelings and like the same thing. So we're going to explore a little bit about, you know, what you like doing as a girl, like, or as a boy. Like when I was younger, I loved climbing trees. And I will always want to go and play football. And sometime I had boys telling me like I couldn't do it. So I had to kind of like tell them that I could and show them that I could. Is there any things that, what do you like? I also like painting and I like pink. Like I like all those things. Yeah, Xanthi?
I like something that usually people say only boys can do.
Oh, you froze. What?
Give her a minute. She's just thinking.
Yes.
Like in Narnia.
Yes.
Mm.
What else? Oh, you're mute. What about you, Sarah? Yeah. What do you like to do?
I like to dance, do my Cubs group, and read.
Oh, nice. I love reading too. What about you, Hilary?
I like talking to my favorite doll called Ella, and I like doing dance.
Nice. Do you like to dance, Tobias? I love dancing too.
Yeah, I like to dance.
Yeah.
I'm pretty
So
bad
Steve-
at dancing, but I like to do it. It's good fun.
Doesn't matter. So that's the most important. That's what we want to remember. We just want to remember that we're all special people, and we, at the end of the day, get to decide what we like, no matter what other people may say. I mean, you have to listen to your parents, but you know, if you like wearing trousers or wearing dresses or like, that's fine.
Mm.
So that kind of leads to a little bit about what you want to become when you grow up. And that's something I wanted to hear from you guys. Like, is there something that you already have an idea? Maybe you have 10 ideas of things that you might want to be when you grow up. And do you see any limitation? Or is there things that you're not sure about? Do you want to share with us? Yeah.
Yeah, Xanthi?
I have lots of ideas, but I like to work with animals, so maybe like a zookeeper or a wildlife warrior or something.
Yeah. Cool.
Really cool.
What about you, Hilary?
I would like to be a singer when I grow up.
That's a really good, that's a great dream.
Yeah. What about you, Sarah? Do you have an idea already?
Maybe a teacher.
Yeah, that's cool.
Maybe a writer.
Can you see on the screen here the different faces, the different people, and what work they might be doing? And maybe sometime we might think about like a job that is only for, there's mostly men doing it. Can you see anything? I can see a farmer female and a farmer man as well. Yeah, Xanti?
I can see a builder as well.
Yeah. Yeah. Builder, architect. And can you see that there's also like a woman with like a hat that can be a builder? Do you know any female architect or builder? Yeah, Santi?
I have an auntie who's an architect
In Melbourne, that's where
in Melbourne.
Tobias is. Isn't it?
Yes.
Wow, awesome.
Nice. That's awesome. Anyone has maybe a doctor or in their family, a nurse, female or male? No? What about anybody knows an astronaut? No. Do you know many, have you ever seen like a lot of like female astronauts? Do you know any? Yeah, Xanti?
I can't remember what their name was, but in school a couple of years ago, we went on an excursion to a space thing, and there was like this presentation that was with a girl astronaut featured in it.
Yeah.
That came. She was there.
No, she wasn't there. She was there on the screen.
Okay.
But she was there and she was like working. Yeah, there's some female astronauts, but like we want to see more female being able to go in space. And what about like there's a black and white as well, like it's a dad and a kid. Like we also think about, you know, a big, really big important job is like actually raising kids, raising you guys, right? And sometimes both parents are working and they're doing that at the same time. Sometimes there's one of the parents that stay at home to kind of like help raising the kids. Do you know many fathers and dads that stay at home to kind of help raising the kids? Anyone? Do you know many like moms staying at home? Yeah, Santi?
My mum's friend's husband did.
Yeah.
Sorry, say
Right.
that again, Danthi?
My mum's friend's husband stayed at home when their kids were little as well.
That's great. What about you, Hilary? Did you want to say something? Oh,
Yep.
My dad looks after me in the morning.
yeah.
My mum looks after me in the afternoon.
Yeah.
And same with my Demi pair called Noelia also looks after me in the afternoon.
That's great. That's nice sharing, Judy. I had also my dad was looking after me and my sister on Wednesday because in France we don't have school on Wednesday. And so my mom was going to work and my dad was kind of like taking care of us, doing the shopping, taking us to do our sport activities as well. So I think it's important that we share that as well.
It sounds
about,
really fun as well. Being a dad, like being a stay-at-home dad, looking after your kids.
Yeah.
Sounds so much fun. I'd get into it, I think.
Yeah. So what about you, Tobias? What do you want to do when you grow up?
I am grown up.
Yeah, sorry.
No, actually, when I was a kid, the first thing I wanted to be when I was the first thing I remember I wanted to be when I was 5 years old was a popsicle. You know, like a lemonade popsicle. Because I really liked those, and so I was like, I want to become a popsicle. But that didn't work out, unfortunately. But then the next thing I wanted to be was an inventor. I really liked hearing about inventors and people who made new things. And I read lots of books about scientists and people from history who made new inventions. And I was like, this is really, really cool. I like it. I like it a lot. And I've kind of followed a similar path somewhat, but now I'm a designer. So I make new things, I design new things, and I help tell cool stories. And I really like working for Farmall as well, because we're doing really cool work, like getting out to hang out with you guys as well, and do these cool sessions and stuff.
Yeah.
So it's
You're
not exactly
inventing every week some content for the program. So it's
exactly.
pretty awesome.
Yeah, it's pretty much pretty close. It's close enough.
Yeah.
Close enough.
Close enough. Yeah. Well, when I was younger, I wanted to be a vet as well, like you, Zanti. I wanted to work with like animals, and then I changed a bit, but I always wanted to kind of like work maybe in agriculture and animals, and so that's what I did. I studied agriculture, and I'm working at Farmall. And I always think that maybe one day when I'll be a bit older, I have my own farm and I have goats, and then I make goat cheese because I love goat cheese. So, you know, I still have time because I'm sure there's like plenty of time to kind of change career again. So the most important is to kind of like dream and not having any barriers. And I think that's why we wanted to talk about like those different things. It's because like at Farmall, we're talking about like growing food, we're talking about agriculture. And at the moment, there's only 1/3. So like on 3 farmers, you got only 1 that is a female farmer. But at university, there's like half of the students learning about agriculture that are actually female. So things are going to change in the future. So I don't know if you can see the photo, we can see like someone like a woman just like looking after the cows, someone looking after urban agriculture. And I wanted to ask you, like, why do you think it's important that we have more women in agriculture, that we have more women in all kind of like jobs?
Does anyone have any ideas? Xanthi?
Because Mom, shush. Because in the olden days, women didn't work, so now they have ideas that are fresh.
Oh, beautiful.
Great
Yes.
idea. Great answer.
Yeah.
Really good. Yeah, men are a lot of our ideas are old and stale. Smell like farts. Need to have some new fresh ideas.
Yeah. But I'm still thinking about like, it's really important to have a diversity. So I think, you know, having a diversity, having female and male, making decisions, like creating new laws, creating new direction, being innovative, all of those things is really important because everyone is going to bring like a new element. And it's important also to have female in like position of power because, you know, they're going to be able to bring the female perspective and they're going to be able to kind of support females' rights as well. But it's only not just that. We need more female, but what's really important is that just, you know, this equality is supported by men and women. So we really, the most important thing to remember is like to create that like better world and that more equal world. It's going to be only done if we are working together, like male and females, boys and girls, men and women, they kind of like working together to just do the right thing. So do you have any idea of like what you can do to just make sure that we continue to have like a more better world with like more equality between gender? Do you have any idea of like what
Big question.
what can be done?
It's a big question. So.
It's a big question. Yeah.
I'm sorry, can you please repeat that again? You were frozen again.
Oh, sorry. I'm just saying, I just wanted to ask you if you had any ideas of things you would like to do or you would like to see to be able to have like more equality between men and women and girls and boys. Do you have any idea? Yes?
Yeah, Xanthi?
Maybe more women studying jobs that people think only men can do.
Yeah. Yeah.
Mm.
Can you think about like jobs that people think only men can do? Oh. Yeah.
Sorry, can you repeat that? I was talking. I'll do detention or something.
No, I just thought that was like a great idea. I just thought like that. Did she have any idea about like some of the jobs that only men can do, or we think that only men can do? Yeah.
So jobs like politics and adventurous jobs, like would I want to be a wildlife warrior or a pilot, or jobs that could be in danger?
Yeah. Yeah, great idea. So we need more female driving planes, making decisions, being warriors and adventurers for sure. Yeah. What about you and Sarah and Hilary? Do you have any ideas of things you could be doing, or ideas to kind of like have more equality between girls and boys, men and female?
Dad, sure. Maybe. I was gonna say doing more adventurous stuff, but
Yeah.
yeah.
Like what, for example?
Well, politics. Maybe. Yeah. Hillary, have you got any ideas?
No, but those are all great ideas. Very good ideas. And I think it's really important that like between female, we also support each other. And that male also like support female. So sometime in like a work environment, you know, a female is gonna like, I'm gonna say something and I just want to make sure that I'm heard. So I don't know, there's different technique for that, you know. I'm either gonna raise my voice or wait until everyone is listening to me. Otherwise, I might have like my friends that might repeat what I said, so I'm really heard. And you know, that can be Tobias, that can be Gert, that can be Abby, and that's really important that we hear all those voices and make sure that like female voices are not lost.
Yeah, I think one of the best things that we can do to help raise each other up is listen to each other, and yeah, not talk over the top of each other. It's something I try to make sure I do is always, if someone begins to talk, I try to do my best to listen to them before I say anything, and actually really listen to what they have to say, and so I don't talk over the top of them and explain something to them that they already know.
Yeah, and that's a little bit difficult sometimes, right? Cool. Well, that's kind of like the end of the session for like the Sustainable Development Goals. That was a little bit different than like usually, and maybe less focused on like growing food. But what's important is, again, like to be able to have a world that is more sustainable and healthy, and that we have like more well-being in this world. It's important that we are equal, whether it's between the different like countries in the world or between the different sex as well. Yeah. So it's just like a reminder.
I do have a question for you guys. Can you guys see can you see any comparison between what we're talking about with an equal world and our fish tanks, our microgreen setups at home? Do you think there's any? I know they're quite different things, but do you think that there is any comparisons between the two? I can think of one, but I'm interested to hear what you guys have to say. Xanthi?
So it's kind of the same thing I said before, women having fresh ideas with this sort of thing, and women being able to work in farms and resilience growing if they like.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
sure. Absolutely. So getting the skills and the expertise and learning new things through urban farming to make our cities more resilient places and everything.
And building things, you know, often we think like, oh, boys are going to be building things, but actually like when you're building your tank and your light and, you know, putting your fish everywhere and growing the microgreens, like everyone can do it. And everyone should do it together.
Yeah. The thing that I can see, well, before I say it, Hilary and Sarah, do you have any ideas that you think it's a bit? I know that's all good. All right, I'll tell you. So when we're talking about equality and helping each other, it's a give and a take. You know, we help someone else and we give someone else a platform and build them up. and in the same way that they do the same for us. And it's a ecosystem, right? It's the way that we act and help each other and care for each other is an ecosystem of behavior. It's a bit of a funny thing to think about, but it's similar to our systems at home, right? Where we have all of these different parts. We have the microgreens, we have the fish, and we have the bacteria in the water, and they all help each other in an ecosystem to thrive. And the more that they help each other, and the more that they live in balance with each other, in equality with each other, the happier and healthier the overall system is, right? So it's kind of interesting to think about, like that these two different things, our fish tanks setups at home and the societies that we live in actually have similar ecosystems in the way that we interact with and help each other. So it's a bit of a funny thing to try and think about, but if you can try and imagine how ecosystems play a role in everything around us, it really is a exciting way to see the world, I think. That's just my 2 cents.
Yes, I like it.
What do you guys think about that? Does that make sense to you? Do you agree with that? Awesome.
Cool. I think, did you say you wanted to kind of like play again, Tobias?
We could do a quick little game.
Before we finish?
Basically, just going to read through some. I'm going to read through some things, some different things from a list, and then I want you guys to put your hand up if you think it's like a girl thing, and put your hand down if you think it's a boy thing, and put both hands up if you think it's a boy and sorry, a boy and girl thing. All right? Does that make sense?
Okay, sorry, can you repeat that? You froze at the.
Okay. So I'm gonna read a list of some items, some different things. And if you think the thing that I say is a boy thing to do, I want you to put one hand up. If you think it's a girl thing to do, leave your hands down. But if you think it's a boy and girl thing to do, so for it's a equal thing, then put both hands up. All right?
Boy hand up, girl hand down.
Yeah. All right.
Or 2 hands for boys and girls.
Yeah. Alrighty. Let's have a look. Let's try to get started on this. Do you want to stop sharing your screen?
Oh yeah.
Still?
Sorry. Stop share.
It's all good.
There you go.
All right. Let's start. Dancing. What do you think about dancing? Yeah? Both? All right. That's fair. That's fair. Teaching. Yeah. All right. Okay. That's an easy one. What about pink? The color pink. What do you think about that? I think it's yeah. Nice. I agree with that one. What about burping and farting? Yeah. Can I see some hands? Yeah. Yeah. All right. I think that's all right. We can agree burping and farting is a boy and girl thing. That's good. What about being a doctor? Nice. Being a scientist? What do you think about that? Yeah. Yeah, it's a pretty easy game. You don't really have to do much. You just have to keep your hands up the whole time.
What about painting nails? Do you think it's a boy or a girl thing? Can be both, really. It's mostly girls, but I've seen some boys with their painting nails too. It's okay.
All right. Does anyone else have any suggestions for things that they think?
Yeah. Hilary? Do you want?
Well, I have something to say because I've seen we have a different au pair, but she left and she has a boyfriend and he wears pink. His favorite color is pink and he wears a pink t-shirt and
all the time.
And second,
Someone in her class.
in like preschool, a boy called Hugo painted his nails blue, and somebody in my class last year, a boy painted his nails red and green.
That's awesome. I've painted my nails before. It's lots of fun. It makes you do this a lot more. It's good.
Yeah.
It's good fun. Xanthi?
I can think of one thing that's just for girls though, and that's having babies. That's one thing that is just for girls.
Mm.
Yeah, that's true.
But what about raising the baby?
Both.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's interesting.
one.
It's an interesting thing you brought up. There's some like biological differences between men and women, but a lot of the things that we were talking about today are more about behavior and the way that we treat each other. So, yeah, that's we can definitely strive for equality in the way that we behave and look after each other.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was a really good chat. It's nice to hear that, there's many examples around you that shows that, boys are painting their nails and dads are looking after like their kids. Things are changing, like I don't know if your parents could have said the same thing. I'm pretty sure my grandparents would not have said the same thing. So it's great to see that things are changing. And it's all our responsibility to keep making sure that we keep that society equal. All right, well, that was it, I think, for today. I'm going to wish you a lovely, lovely weekend. And yeah.
Hillary and Sarah want to say some things before we go?
So in our fish tank, the snow pea sprout roots are starting to collect this goopy moldy stuff.
Ah.
Right. How long has the tray been in the tank for now?
Few weeks.
Yeah, it's probably good. It's a good time to maybe take that tray out, compost the hemp and the snow peas, and start a new tray.
Yeah.
So you need to do that every few weeks, just because it will start to break down eventually. But it's cool because then you can get new fresh microgreens to grow. Yeah, Hillary?
I have my first bubbly too.
No way! Oh, congratulations.
Amazing. So maybe next time we talk, it might be gone.
That's exciting.
That is very exciting. You should be safe eating microgreens though.
Yeah, they're pretty soft.
Can I ask a question, please?
Yeah, absolutely.
Hi. The last 2 Thursdays, and I noticed a couple of other people have found it too, we couldn't get onto the Calendly. There was no date being offered on Calendly. So on Thursday, I couldn't get on for that reason. Do you know what's going on with that?
There was an error at the beginning when we first put the EDM out. I accidentally I didn't update the link correctly in Calendly, but I fixed it after about a day or two. The other thing is, like, if you try and register after 7 o'clock, you can't register at that point, so you have to register before 7 o'clock.
Okay.
To get the link. But what I'm also doing, I generally share the link in the Facebook group right before.
I looked for that.
I can make it more of a clear thing, like posting a link in the Facebook group right beforehand for people who want to join.
That'd be cool. Thank you.
Yeah, apologies about that.
Yeah. And sorry, can I also ask you? You froze just before when you were answering that excellent question that I think maybe Hillary asked.
That's
Sarah,
Sarah.
sorry. About the trays being left in. Was that after all the microgreens have been eaten or something?
Yeah. So once you've harvested a whole tray, and all that's left is the little stalks and the seeds, at that point, it's time to throw the hemp away. So or compost it. Don't throw it in the bin, obviously. Just take the tray, pull the hemp out, and you can compost it. It makes amazing compost because it's got all of the carbons and it's got all the good stuff that you need for compost in it already with the hemp and the plant material. So, and it's all nice and moist and stuff as well. So chuck in your compost and it will break down really quickly. But then, just wash the plastic tray. Just give it a rinse with clean, just hot water, no soap or anything. Just get all the little roots and plant material off it. And then you're ready to seed your next half tray or full tray of microgreens. But yeah, you generally want to kind of cycle through a tray like about 2 to 3 weeks generally. 2 weeks is generally like the good rule. If you can, so you grow, it takes a while for the microgreens to grow, and then yeah, if you eat them within, I don't know, it kind of depends on the microgreen as well and the time of year and how it grows and everything. But yeah, once you've eaten all the microgreens and all you got left is stalks, it's time to swap it out. Hope that makes it a bit more clear.
It does. However, just last night I pulled out a half tray. So I've still got a half tray that we're eating. So that was obviously sitting in a full size slotted tray. So pulling out the half size slotted tray, I don't know whether every single root came out or whether some being pulled out of that bottom full tray, slotted tray, sort of left some behind in the tank. Is that bad?
Left some roots in the tank.
Maybe, yeah.
It's not like
it wasn't a clean pull out.
And so that's particularly with the snow peas, because it's quite because they have quite intense roots. What'll happen in that case is the roots will just stay in the tank, and it's not like catastrophic, but it will, if you have too much organic matter, if you have too much dead organic matter in the tank, it will start to break down and release ammonia into the system, and ammonia is not good for the fish. So that's why we do, if you can, like fish out any like large roots that you can see. And then next, we're about to release a video next week about fish tank maintenance. And we're talking about, we go over a thing called a water change, where we talk about how you can take out, you do a monthly routine where you take out a portion of the water in the tank and replace it with new fresh water. And in that process, you remove some of the organic solids, like those roots that cause ammonia increases, and put in new fresh water, essentially. So yeah, it's a really good question. If you can take the roots out, if you can see the roots and they're floating there, I would remove them. But if you can't get 100% of them out, it's fine. They'll break down. If you've got a healthy bacterial culture, they will break down the plants and turn them into nitrates, like back into nitrates for the plants again. And then when you do a water change, you'll remove any of the larger organic solids that are still floating about in there. So yeah.
Yeah, cool. It's just tricky because if you use 2 half slots in a big full slots, it's when you remove one of those half slots, you've got to pull it through the bottom tray.
Yeah.
Thanks. Cool. Your Saturday sessions are awesome. They're just so cool for kids.
Thank you.
SCGs, awesome.
Yeah, it's cool stuff, and it's cool to have all you guys along and to see the regulars come through and have some really great insights.
Yeah, and it's such a great opportunity for us to build those kind of like contents,
learn
like doing that as with you guys, and it's really cool. Well, you guys have a lovely weekend, and we'll see you next week. Maybe Hilary, your tooth might be gone then.
Yeah, we need to see
that. This is exciting.
Awesome. All right, have a great weekend, guys. See you later.
Bye.
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 Bye.